Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. I have another product review for you today, and this one is so fun. This one is a shout out for all my organizational buddies. All of us girls and guys that love something that is really organized and really helpful, you're gonna love this product. I am so excited about it. When I first was contacted by this company, I was like, oh yeah, that would be cool. I can think of some things to do with that. And then I started thinking more and I was like, oh my goodness, I have an amazing idea of what to do with this. So basically what we're looking at today is an EcoStash 12 pocket closable accordion file organizer. Now, I have files, I have a filing cabinet, I have papers, I have things to keep track of, but I also have crafty things to keep track of. Now I'm going to show you what I've done with mine, but then I'm also going to give you a couple ideas of something you could do with yours. Now there is a link in the description box down below and there's a discount code, so make sure you check that out. And it comes in different colors. As you can see right here, there's pink, purple, blue, green, and yellow. So maybe you want to get super organized and you want to color code your organization. You can actually color code it with the closable accordion file organizer, not just on the tabs, but the actual outside of the file folder itself. This is so fun. All right, so if you watch my video on how I organize my So Simple shapes, this is an update. So in the past, what I have done is I've used these great big and sometimes cumbersome 3-ring binders, and I labeled a spine and I sometimes label the front if I remember. And then I have these pockets inside that are velcroed and they're all labeled and all the So Simple shapes go in each one of these. And then this goes up on the shelf. Now this gets really heavy and really cumbersome, and to be quite honest, I've had the 3 rings like come open on me and then everything spills out, and it was not a happy moment in my world. So I thought, oh my gosh, I could use this to organize my So Simple shapes, and I have. So come here a little closer and let's check this out together. I'm going to tell you what I've gotten done, and I'm also going to tell you my plan for the final product. Basically, when I open this up, there are 12 folders or 12 pockets inside of here. And oh, and I missed a pocket. Oh my goodness. Okay. So basically in my first pocket, since those first few shape sets were so small, I actually have 2 shape sets in that first pocket. A and B are in there. C and D are in the next one. The next one I somehow missed, but anyway, it will be E and probably F as well. And actually, let's go ahead and move these. This is so easy to do. So E and F are going to be in here. And then on back through. So let me move some of these little guys around so I can see how far in my So Simple shapes I can get. Now I am giving it a little bit of a support because I haven't gotten it out correctly. Okay, here we go. When it is accordioned out, let me show you the side real quick. When it is accordioned out, it like sits on its own. I am over here and it is over there and it is fine and dandy. So let's see, I got here and here, and then I am all the way to a set I. So I can go right in here. Is that right? Yeah, I can go in here. And honestly, I could probably put A, B, and C in the first pocket. I may have to, that's why I haven't totally decided exactly how far I'm gonna go with this and how I'm gonna do it. But I wanted to show you the basic concept, basically. So all of these sets. Now, the problem that I ran into with my 3-ring binder was that some of these sets, some of the shapes were so big that, like this one for L, which was, let's see, what is L? L is the My Happy Place quilt. So that's the one with the sewing machine on it that you guys love so much that you ask me all the time, what is that one? What is that quilt? My Happy Place has these 2 great big circles, and those did not fit in those little Velcro pockets that I had because they were just too big, right? But it will fit in here and it's perfectly fine and happy right there. And then we also have sets like this one, the chicken salad, that it also has some great big shapes in it. Everybody over into the right pocket, please. So they just fit in there so well. Now, the idea that I have to complete this project is I'm either going to use the labels that it came with, which are just peel and stick, really nice stickers, or you can use, maybe you're sorting something for the year and you can just use the January through December here. But I am going to use either these labels, or I'm going to print out labels with my label maker to put on these little tags to just tell me this is set A and B, and then put the names of the quilts. In addition to that, I'm going to put the sew along guide in here. So if I have one, sometimes I didn't print the sew along guide. Sometimes I just use the blog post and use the digital copy. But if I already have it printed out, I will go ahead and slip it in here. And then all of my Sew Simple shapes will be in one or two of these. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get all of them in there because, let's be honest, there are, oh goodness, how many sets are there now? There are probably like 20 some sets at this point. I know we haven't gotten to Z yet, so there's that. If we'd gotten to Z, then I'd know that there was, 26, because, 26 letters of the alphabet. But even like this great big calico garden set, I can take it and just slip it in there. And the calico garden, I couldn't get all the shapes on one ring, so it actually has 2 rings, but all of that is in there. And then the set that was for the prairie meadow, I had this shape that wouldn't fit in my folders, but it will fit, and it slips perfectly down in there. I may actually put it on the ring in the right spot instead of just having it loose in there. So this is great. I am so excited about this. Not to mention, instead of having, this replaced 3 of those great big binders, honestly. This replaced 3 of those binders. So instead of having 3 of those great big binders on my shelf, I'll have this one nice accordion file organizer on my shelf, and I'll just set it to the side and you'll be able to see it. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you is that there is an elastic band that will just come around. And I've just decided that I don't really I just get it around the button first, and then I just kind of smoosh it up, right? So that's my shapes, A through M, I believe. Let's see, how far did I get? I got A through P. That is A through P in this one little file accordion folder. I'm sold. I'm so excited. And then I'll put a cute little label up here that says Sew Simple Shapes. And then I'll label each pocket with which Sew Simple shapes are in there. And then this will go on my shelf, and it will be one handy dandy little organizational tool for my craft space. Now, I'm also going to tell you that this is so cute, right? Like, this is not your grandma's file accordion folder. This is really nice. And this is like really heavy duty plastic. I think they actually said it's like wheatgrass or something, because it was, it's eco-friendly. It's fun. Let's see, what's it say? Yeah, it's wheat straw. It has a 14-inch expansion. The cover design is really nice. The top of this has tons of perforations, so you can like bend it and fold it, and it's gonna go with however big or small your file accordion is. And like I said, this is gonna fit really nicely on my shelf. I can pick it up and nothing's falling out. Don't have to worry about those 3 rings coming open and everything falling to the floor. That was such a mess. Such a mess. So yeah, I like it. I think it's really good, and I think it's a really great tool for your craft room if you have a bunch of stuff that you're trying to put in one location that you can, find from then on. Now, a couple other ideas that I have for this. This was the first one that I thought of, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be amazing. Cross-stitch patterns. Cross-stitch patterns. Follow me on this. So here's the deal. When people ask me a lot about organizing craft supplies, and I honestly do organize a lot of my stuff, but I organize them for my brain. I don't organize them for somebody else's brain because they're not in my stuff. I'm in my stuff, right? So this is my advice for you. When you look at something and you're trying to come up with a method to organize anything, whether it be fabric, patterns, books, Sew Simple shapes, whatever you're trying to organize in your craft space, go with what your brain thinks. So when you are looking for, let's say, a cross-stitch pattern and you want something to stitch, if your first thought is, I want to stitch something by Lori Holt, or I want to stitch something by Stitching with the Housewives, then that's your first step in organizing your patterns. You want to sort by designer. Now, by designer, you may break that down further and say, I want to stitch something that's Christmas by Lori Holt, or Halloween by Stitching with the Housewives, or maybe it's like somebody totally different. So however you think about your patterns, however you choose what to do, that's your first step on how to break down and organize your items. So if it's by designer, start with by designer and then think, okay, so if I think I want to stitch something by Stitching with the Housewives and I want it to be Halloween, then that's your next section. And maybe you decide I want to stitch Stitching with the Housewives, and then you have 4 seasons. So maybe you have all of your Halloween patterns in fall, all of your Christmas stuff in winter, all of your Easter stuff in spring. However you think through, however you keep that mental inventory of what you want to do and how you find that, or how you search out for patterns or books or Sew Simple Shapes, however you do it, that's the way you need to break down and organize your stash. Don't try to follow what I'm doing verbatim, because my brain and your brain probably don't work the same way. You need to organize based on your brain and your mental inventory, and then you'll be able to find your stuff much quicker and much easier, and you'll have less frustration organizing and finding later on. So that's my advice for you. And my other advice is try these out, because this is so cool. I am so excited about the additional shelf space I'm going to save in my closet, because this is a lot less space than those 3 binders. In fact, let me show you how big of a space the 3 binders took up compared to this, and you can see it for yourself. Okay, so let's measure this out. This is a good 9 inches of space in my closet, and this is 6.5. And even at its widest point up here, yeah, we're at 6.5 inches. So that may not sound like much, but remember that I have another one of these binders too. So instead of using 18 inches worth of space, I'm going to use around probably 12, honestly, because this top can be smushed in a little bit. So instead of 18 inches of space, I'm using 12. And that leaves me another 6 inches of space on my shelf in my closet. And that is going to be amazing. So excited about that. So again, the product that I reviewed today, let me get rid of these binders. So again, the product I reviewed today is this EcoStash 12 Pocket Closable Accordion File Organizer. It comes in 5 different colors. They're available on Amazon. The shipping was really quick. And the product is really nice, and it's going to save space. So if you followed my lead earlier and you got the binders and the pockets and the page protectors, this is really all I'm going to need for the future. So if you haven't organized all of your Sew Simple Shapes and maybe you are looking for a solution, this is a great one. If you have went ahead and organized your Sew Simple Shapes with the binders and the Velcro pockets, go ahead and consider this for other things. Maybe your cross stitch patterns, your quilting patterns, actual files, I guess, but I'd rather put something crafting in here. I mean, it's cute. So I mean, I wouldn't even mind this sitting out in my craft space. Kind of fun. I cannot wait to get the labels and everything on this. I just want to make sure that all my stuff is where I want it inside before I finish up all the products. So stay tuned, because I'm sure it will be sitting out and being used in the future on some of my upcoming sew-alongs. So until next time, find joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and organizing. And remember, it's always better when you make stuff up.